I have a special segment for you today on composition, the putting together the objects in a painting. First of all, I want to tell you about judging. Judging is something that you want a basis for. What do I judge? On a realistic work of art, there is the representation. Does it represent well the subject that you have? Then is there composition? Does it look like it's balanced where it's supposed to be? And finally, expression. And you say, well, what about abstract art? You take away representation, but you can still have composition of the colors next to each other, and certainly expression. I want to show you abstract painting, so you can have this up on the easel. And on that, of course, you're not talking about any representation, but you're talking about composition. Is the placement of the colors. That looks pretty good. There's almost like a horse's head over here, Mr. Peel. So that looks kind of like the composition's okay. Then expression, do you feel energy from that? You do. So I would say, okay, let's put that in the show. On the one on the right, which has realism and it has representation, then you ask, is it good representation? Are the trees anatomically drawn correctly? Which means, do they kind of taper? Do they feel like they could blow in the wind? Is the sun source lining up with the sun reflection? It does. And then you always watch the expression. The expression of that is peace and beauty and tranquility. So that one would also be accepted. Now I want to show you one other painting, and this is the one that was done from the one on the right. And what would be the difference? I would feel that you still have anatomically quite good, so the representation is good. The composition seems to be all right. Composition, the placement of things, also the use of the colors. See, some of this light could be down a little bit more. Some of the orange should reflect. Some of the orange should reflect. So it's not totally representative of the scene as much as it is on this side. So this one would make it, and this one I'd say, let's try it another time. Now I'll take down both of these canvases, and we'll put up the next painting and talk about the same thing. And that is judging. All right, this is a floral piece. And we start out with representation. Those represent quite well the flowers, even though they are a little loosely done and so on, that's fine. And you have some that are going away, not as large, some a little overlapping, that's good. Your center of interest down there, that's good. Now, the composition, does this have enough of a splash? Does this take you back up into the sky? This is just a little weak between those two. There should be something in there so I don't just have that dark line holding me. So that is all with the composition. Then expression. It makes it on expression. It has the vitality that you want. And truly, watch this, the lightest light meeting the darkest dark, right in there. That holds your eye right there. The nice strength down below is supportive, but it doesn't take over. And then, of course, you have a lot of little red flowers, dots throughout, which kind of give a unity throughout. And then there's also a few of the blue ones in here and in here, which breaks up the dark area. And then you have the yellows throughout too. So this one's kind of a borderline case, but I would say that it makes it representation. Yes, it represents the flowers well. The composition, the placement is good. You could use a little correcting there on the wave. And then the expression is good. So that one I'd give a passing mark to as well. Now let's bring up a portrait. The portrait is going to be just a little bit different. Come on up there. Okay, again, representation that looks like the person. It's anatomically drawn correctly, the eyes where they should be, the ear, bottom of the nose, top of the eye, good. That seems to flow rather well. Good representation of that person. Now, composition, the placement looks good. I was a little bothered by the fact that when this goes down, that it isn't softened here so that my eye doesn't go out of the painting. But instead, if that were softened, then you're going back this way. Another thing that is very helpful on this is the use of that color in the background, which makes the background have some vitality and a little bit echoed over here. Those really, as we say, kind of echoes the colors that are in the flesh and elsewhere. Now on the eyes, you can't really see them as being open eyes. So what happened here was there's a little extra light put around to focus on this near eye. And that's really important, that it's one or the other. And it's very consistent with the light direction coming down from the right. So I think that one makes it, as far as representation, good anatomy, composition, the placement, the background, and then expression. I think you feel that that's a happy person and it expresses well what we have. So the final thing is this. Have criteria for judging. It isn't just coming up and say, oh, I like that because it's a baseball player or it's a horse or so on. When you're a judge in a competition or even a teacher telling the students, you have some criteria to base your judgment on. And you don't have to be hard and say, this is out, this isn't any good. Find the good in it. I always recall the little paper towel that I scrubbed a little kind of a tree on and showed to my teacher 11 years after lessons. And I was an adult. And he started looking for the good in it. He says, oh, this is good structure, the way the tree was going into the ground. So look for the good in things and then see how you can help someone step higher. I hope that's been helpful to you. Bye-bye.
This program is funded by the North Dakota Council on the Arts, the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, and by the members of Prairie Public.